See if you guys can guess who this is. Fox! No, it's not Rudy. What's up, guys? I just wanted to talk about this little small downturn in the card game market and how you can proceed into it. So often anytime you get like some short-term bearishness, let's say you bought a box of Final Fantasy at the quote-unquote peak, which is 1,200 around there, and now you've seen it, the prices slip down to back to around 1,000, and you probably think like, ooh, am I a little tanned? And you probably get that idea of like, oh man, I bought at a bad time. I'm gonna lose so much money. This was such a mistake. And while I understand where those fears come from, that's more of a stock trading perspective where things can go to zero. Like technically a company could explode and go bankrupt, where yeah, sure, you could have like a MetaZoo situation, but even then, I don't know if you've seen the boxes of stuff like MetaZoo, they've held on. So the idea is like, in the long term, like on average, will you be losing money in Magic the Gathering boxes that you quote unquote bought the peak? And I would guess no. And so I just wanted to have a quick little discussion on how to navigate this bearishness on not only Pokemon, but Magic. And the first thing I would recommend is to zoom out and look at the big picture. So a lot of these products are not very old. That if you bought them recently and you bought them, like, let's say you bought them literally from a Target, or they just came out within the last year or two, they're not very old. And a lot of times you need just time in the market and time to pass and progress for all of these boxes to be purchased, opened, stored, sold, bought, sold, etc. You need this whole cycle to go through. So something like Final Fantasy, this will most likely be, out of all the collector boxes they have, not only has it already been the biggest winner ever, but it's probably going to continue. It's a very new product, and the sell-through rate at $1,000 a box is shocking. Now, yes, the market can't sustain, thousands and thousands of boxes every single day forever, sure, but once people buy these boxes, what do you think they do with it? Do they open it? I would argue a lot of people are buying them to open, especially because they go online and they hear about all the prices and all the single prices, and they might not have even checked at the adjusting and fluctuating single prices. They might just have that feeling of like, oh my god, free money from opening Final Fantasy. So like they just open the boxes, and that only helps anyone holding on to sealed product. And it's not all doom and gloom for the single holders either, but I'm going to get to that. So from the perspective of a sealed holder, you just need more time. Final Fantasy came out like a week ago. So if you're already freaking out about the price movements, you are really new. And all I'm going to say is just, what does Rudy say? Stay the course, trust the process, man. Stick with it and see what happens. I mean, the worst that happens is you lose $1,000, but I'm sure you've lost more on stupider, dumber things. So why not just see what happens and ride it out and see where this wave takes you? Now, for the single holders, it's a similar type of action where if you heard what I just said, a lot of people are opening their boxes. They're buying it right now at $1,000 to open to make money. So people are opening it. They have a ton of singles. Each pack has like, at least 10 or so singles. They have a ton of singles that they're getting from opening these boxes and bundles and kits, and they're blowing it out all in the market. So there is some sort of race to the bottom type of activity of like, okay, I opened my first pack that I bought for $100 and I pulled a $400 card. I'm listing it for $375. Someone else comes, oh my god, $375 card, I'm listing it for $350, please buy it. You get a lot of those type of sellers where they're literally undercutting you by like tens of dollars instead of just a penny. So with that, this type of single activity on the market where there's tons and tons of singles are being added to the market, this is not forever. This will not last. So, in a couple months, especially because these boxes are so expensive, you're not really going to be seeing that many new singles from Final Fantasy being added to the market. And sure, there might be a lot of supply still left on the market from all of this, but over time, it's going to be slowly eaten up and purchased and stored away in collections, or stuffed away into commander decks, locked away in different ways, maybe getting damaged, etc., lost. So give it some time and the market will dry up. I also want to mention, if you just compare this set to other sets, for instance, Commander Masters. Commander Masters, when it came out, it tanked off of negativity. Final Fantasy is just tanking a little, not tanking, but it's dipping because the prices are just freakishly high for a new set. Where something like Commander Masters was dipping for negativity on the set. People were pessimistic about Commander Masters. So, and even that product has not only recovered, but continued to climb. You could have bought on the market around release day of Commander Masters, and you'd be up right now, up several tens of %. So, also, if you compare the singles, if you look at the singles, the hit singles from stuff like Commander Masters, you'll see a lot of these cards, and the treatments aren't even that special, but they're very playable, and a lot of these cards are completely, there's nothing left. The market is completely eaten out. So, I definitely don't think that if you're a single holder, like if you're putting it into a collection or something like that, I don't think you need to worry that much. It's just right now people are a little, things are a little volatile. There's a lot of people getting their cards. A lot of people are getting cards they don't really care about. People are buying them. A lot of cards haven't really found their true price. Like, I think Summon Yojimbo only just recently spiked because people are realizing that it's so strong. So you don't think that there's going to be other key players from Final Fantasy that are spiking or fluctuating in price? On top of the fact that there's new sets coming out that could also have different little hidden interactions and use cases for all of these different Final Fantasy cards that just got added. So really, the reminder here is time. The whole thesis for holding sealed trading cards is waiting anyways. It's waiting for this stuff to either go out of print or be opened enough, because let's say the print run for Final Fantasy was 300,000, and let's say only 50,000 will be opened in the next month or two. Well, how many boxes do you think people are storing away? I know for me, I did open 2 boxes of Final Fantasy, and I'm holding a good 6 boxes. I'm not going to be opening those boxes. So I'm holding more boxes than I actually have opened by far. So, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who are sharing that same kind of perspective, just because I've seen online people are like, this is the most I've spent on sealed product ever. Maybe I'm kind of in over my head, but with that type of activity, there's a lot of people holding boxes. There's a lot of people not listing them on the market because we're trying to see where the price goes. And let me just tell you, I'm not selling at 1,000. Unless, if I can help it. So, yeah, I think now is a really good time to buy. And sure, the price might retrace more. The price might dip more. It might go from $1,000 to $900 or $800. But is that really that bad that you've lost 20%? When in the long run, you're hoping that this thing not only goes up like 50%, but like 100% in such a small amount of time. Oh man, that guy's beer belly is freaking enormous. That guy looks practically pregnant. So I just wanted to remind you guys, like, hey, just ride it out. There's nothing wrong with buying an investment and it not immediately playing out. In fact, there's nothing wrong with buying an investment and having it dip a little bit. If you weren't going to sell it anyways in the next year, it doesn't matter where the price is. It only matters where the price is after like a year or two, because that's when you're actually considering selling it, and let's see what you can sell it for. And I would guess that Final Fantasy in a year or two is going to be $2,000 a box. And I'm going to be honest, a 2x play in 2 to 3 years is pretty nice. And it's very likely, especially seeing all the collector boxes doing the same. Something like Lord of the Rings Special was able to do it. Something like Eldraine, is pushing towards 1,000. So I don't really know how low the Final Fantasy floor can go. Like, I'll tell you, if Final Fantasy went to $600 a box, I'm all in. I am buying so much Final Fantasy. $800 a box, maybe I wouldn't all in, but I'd definitely be scooping up boxes here and there, trying to catch the falling knife. These boxes are never going to $400. It's not happening. There's not enough boxes, and there's too much demand, and there's too much faith in the product, where these boxes, once they get to like 900, there's going to be buying pressure. 800, more buying pressure. 700, insane buying pressure. And 600, people are like, finally, I can get a chance to buy and open some Final Fantasy. And you have a lot of people like that sitting on the sidelines, waiting, begging, and hoping for a dip, when I don't think it's coming. I don't think a big enough dip is coming for you, but we'll see what happens. Like, comment, subscribe, please. I'd love to see my channel grow. I'll be honest, I want it to succeed. I'd like some subscribers. More subscribers gives me a bit more motivation, a bit more interaction, and I can actually get some ideas from people, and so it can help me, I can help you. And I do think that the perspectives I'm providing is a good, healthy conversation that can only be added to something like holding sealed boxes of specifically Magic the Gathering. I see a lot of Pokemon creators talking about the same thing and kind of discussing it. But for Magic, there's not that many. I know there's Final Trade. I know there's Alpha Investments Rudy. Who else do I know? I don't know that many people who are talking logically and calmly about the direction of Magic the Gathering boxes, specifically collector boxes. And, hold, stay strong, and wait. Give it some time. I'm saving anyways. So, that's pretty much it, y'all. If you do read this, here's a comment idea. Let me know what your favorite collector box to open was. Mine, it used to be Brothers War. It might now be Final Fantasy. It's just too fun. The art is too nice. You pull out the card, you're like, holy smokes. There's that Chocobo chase. Pulling out some crazy Sephiroth. Oh my god. Love it. Let me cut this one off. See y'all later. Woo!